In this video today we are going to see the hybridization. Before that, in previous video we learned orbital overlap. What is orbital overlap? Means joining of orbital. Joining of orbital means first of all s orbital and s orbital joining together, it form sigma bond. And then s orbital along with the p orbital, which one having the same axis, s orbital, and then s orbital there is no axis because it oriented all directions, so that there is no axis in s orbital. But p orbital we have three axes: x axis, y axis, z axis. And s orbital and p orbital lie on the same axis, means we get the bond sigma bond. Then p orbital, both the p orbital they have the same axis, that is molecular axis, means they got sigma bond. So sigma bond formed by just orbital overlap. What is orbital overlap? Means just they are joining together will form the sigma bond. And one more bond we studied, pi bond means it is a side wave overlap. We get the other than molecular axis. In p axis, which one we consider as a molecular axis, the other axis is considered as a not molecular axis. So we get the side wave overlap in the not be a molecular axis. So from the side wave overlap we get the pi bond. So these one we studied in our previous video. Now we are going to learn the hybridization. What is hybridization? Means mixing of orbitals. That orbital overlap means just joining of orbital, but hybridization means it is called as mixing of orbitals. So mixing of orbitals means s orbital and p orbital. Two orbital is there. Just we are going to mix with them. We get the sp and sp. We get two orbitals. S orbital and p orbital joining together, we get two orbitals, sp plus sp. sp means one of the hybridized orbital and another hybridized orbital sp. So two orbitals joined means we get two hybridized orbital. The next one, s orbital and p. In that p we have two orbitals. So how many orbitals they are going to join? Means three orbitals they are going to join. So we get the three hybridized orbital like this, sp2, sp2 and sp2. So we get the three hybridized orbital. The next one, s orbital one orbital and p three orbitals. So totally we have four orbitals. S one orbital and p there is three orbitals. So 3 plus 1 we get 4 orbitals. So joining together we get 4 hybridized orbital like this, sp3, 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 sp3. So how many sp3? 4 sp3 orbital. These are called hybridized orbital. The next one, sp3, s plus p3 and d. So how many orbitals they are going to join? Means 4 orbitals. So 4 orbitals, sorry, 4 not 4, 5 orbitals. So 1, s orbital is the 1 and p orbital 3 orbital and d. So that we are going to join 5 orbitals. We get the 5 hybridized orbital like this, sp3d, 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 sp3. So 5 hybridized orbital. These hybridized orbital, they have maximum symmetry, definite orientation. Why they have maximum symmetry or definite orientation? Means to minimize the repulsion of electrons, so that we get the different orientation. From this hybridization we can conclude the geometry of the molecules. Now we are going to see in this video types of hybridization and its geometry of molecules. Rest of the lesson PPT.
Polyatomic molecules such as methane, ammonia, beryllium chloride, etc. That structures cannot be explained on the basis of simple overlap theory, which we have studied in our previous video. But the simple overlap theory can explain the structure of simple molecule like hydrogen and fluorine. In methane, the structure is tetrahedral structure. It has 4 CH bonds and that 4 CH bonds are equivalent. But based on this overlap theory, the orbital overlap theory, the structure of methane cannot be explained. So that the new theory, that is hybridization, it is developed. Now we are going to study this hybridization. Suppose s orbital contain 1 electron and p orbital there is 3 p orbital, but in that one only one electron is present means these two s and p orbital they are going to be hybridized means mixing together. How many orbitals they are going to mix means two orbital only, so that we get the two hybridized orbital sp and sp. The next one, s orbital 1 electron, in p orbital 2 electron, but the two electrons are present in different orbitals. Now these two p orbital and 1 s orbital they are combined together, so totally 3 orbitals combined, that is mixing, we get 3 hybridized orbital sp2 sp2 sp2, and it contains single electron. And the next one, third one, s orbital and 3 p orbital they are going to mix means we get how many orbitals they are going to mix means 4 orbital. So we get sp3 sp3 and sp3, 4 sp3 hybridized orbital. The next one, s orbital 1 and 3 p orbital and 1 d orbital. So totally we have 5 orbitals, so we get 5 hybridized orbital like sp3d sp3d and sp3d sp3d sp3d. Last one, s orbital 1 and 3 p orbital and d orbital 2 orbital. So totally how many orbitals? 6 orbital. So we get the 6 hybridized orbital of sp3d2, and each orbital contain 1 electron. This hybridization concept is developed by Linus Pauling. He said that the valence atomic orbital in a molecule they are different from that isolated atom. The isolated atom have the valence atomic orbital. It is totally different when they form the molecule. Then hybridization is a mixing of atomic orbital of the same atom, under the word same atom, with a comparable energy, and they form the equal number of new equivalent orbital with the same energy. What energy they combine, no, that energy they will form. This resultant orbitals are called as hybridized orbital, and they possess maximum symmetry, and they oriented in a definite orientation in a space. Orientation means direction. Why they are oriented in definite space means to minimize the force of repulsion between their electron. Each orbital having electron, that electron they have to minimize the force so that they oriented in a definite direction in space. First hybridization, sp hybridization. For that example is beryllium chloride. That beryllium chloride has the linear structure. That structure we are going to explain with the help of this sp hybridization. First, beryllium. Beryllium atomic number 4. 4 means it has 4 electron. In ground state, the electronic configuration of beryllium is 1s2, 2s2. Now, the 2s2, one of the electron, it excited to the 2p orbital, because in second orbit we have s orbital as well as p orbital, but in first orbit we have only s orbital alone. So in second orbit we have p orbital, that s orbital, one electron, it excited to the p orbital. Now see the diagram, the 2s2 green color, but it has 2p orbital also, but it is empty. After excitation, one of the s electron that goes to p orbital. It is indicated in violet color box. Now the s orbital and p orbital they are going to be mixed. That is called as sp hybridization. So how many orbital they are going to mix? 2 orbitals. So we get resultant orbital, hybridized orbital to sp. That sp orbital having single electron. Now the chlorine atomic number 17. 17 means 17 electron it has. That electronic configuration I written as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Then valence electrons are 3s2, 3p5. The 3p5 alone we are extended means the 5 electron they occupy in x orbital 2 electron, y orbital 2 electron, and z orbital only one electron. That one electron in the chlorine, it gives to the hybridized orbital, that is sp hybridized orbital. And in beryllium chloride, how many chlorine we are having? 2 chlorine. So one more chlorine also, it gives one electron to the that hybridized orbital. Now in the sp hybridization, we have 50% s character and 50% p character. The sp hybridized orbital, they linearly overlap with the 3pz orbital of chlorine, so that they form the covalent bond. That covalent bond is a linear, that is structure is linear structure. It is indicated in beryllium is a green color, it has sp orbital, and rose color is the chlorine orbital, that is 3pz orbital. That 3pz orbital is linearly overlap with the sp orbital, so that we getting linear structure. sp2 hybridization, for that example is boron trifluoride. It has trigonal planar. We will explain the structure of trigonal planar with the help of sp2 hybridization. Now the central atom is boron atom. Boron atomic number is 5. 5 means 5 electron it possesses. In ground state, the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. And in excited state means the 2s orbital, it has 2 electron number, that one of the electron excited to the 2py orbital. Now see the green color box indicated that it is in a ground state. 2s orbital having 2 electron and 2px orbital have 1 electron. After excited means the 2s orbital containing 2 electron number, that 1 electron goes to the 2py orbital. Now how many orbitals are going to be hybridized means 2s 1 orbital, 2px 1 orbital and 2py 1 orbital. So totally 3 orbitals. We get 3 sp2 hybridized orbital and each orbital containing 1 electron. Now fluorine, that boron trifluoride means fluorine atomic number 9, so it contains 9 electron. The electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2px2 and 2py2 and 2pz1. The 2pz1 electron is going to be linearly overlap with the sp2 hybridized orbital of central atom boron atom. We have in boron trifluoride how many fluorine? 3 fluorine. So each fluorine atom, they combine with the sp2 hybridized orbital of boron atom. We get the structure trigonal planar. Why it is called as planar means all the 3 fluorine atom and then 1 boron atom, all the one they are lying in same plane and they will form the trigonal structure, and between angle between that hybridized orbital is 120 degree. Now sp3 hybridization, for that example is methane. That methane possesses tetrahedral structure. That tetrahedral structure can be explained with the help of this sp3 hybridization. Now carbon, methane formula is CH4. The central atom is carbon. Carbon atomic number 6. 6 means ground state electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. And excited state means which electron will goes to 2 orbital? The 2s orbital electron goes to 2pz orbital. Now see the green color box, it is a ground state of carbon. The valence electron is 2s2 and 2p1, 2py1. Now the 2s electron goes to 2pz orbital. Then how many electrons going to be a sp3 hybridization means s orbital 1 orbital and p orbital 3 orbitals, so that 4 sp3 orbitals hybridized and gives 4 sp3 hybridized orbital, each orbital containing single electron. And around the carbon we have 4 hydrogen, each hydrogen atomic number 1, so electronic configuration is 1s1. That 1s orbital of that one electron is going to be mingled with the sp3 hybridized orbital of carbon. It overlap linearly and it form the 4 sigma bond. That 4 sigma bond it possesses the structure tetrahedral structure. Why it has the tetrahedral structure means that one of the angle between the bond is 109 degree 28 minutes, so that they possess the structure tetrahedral structure. sp3d hybridization example phosphorus pentachloride. The central atom is phosphorus here. The phosphorus atomic number is 15. In ground state, the phosphorus electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p3. Now in excited state, the 3s electron, one of the 3s electron will go to 3d orbital, because in third orbit it has s orbital, 3s orbital, 3p orbital and 3d orbital, so that the s orbital, one electron of the s orbital goes to 3d orbital. Now see the green color is indicated for the ground state that violet color indicated for excited state. One of the s electron goes to 3d z squared orbital. Now how many orbitals are going to hybridize means s orbital, 3p orbital and 1 d orbital. So totally 5 orbital, we get 5 sp3d hybridized orbital. Now around the phosphorus, how many chlorine is there? 5 chlorine. 1 chlorine, it gives 1 electron to the 1 sp3d orbital. The same way 5 chlorine, they will give the last electron, that is 3pz orbital electron. You see the chlorine atomic number 17, electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. In 3p5 the electrons are occupied 3px 2 electron, in 3py 2 electron and 3pz 1 electron. That 3pz electron only, it is linearly overlap with the sp3d hybridized orbital of phosphorus, and they form the 5 sigma bond around the phosphorus, and they form trigonal bipyramidal. That is, trigonal means triangularly 3 chlorine, and above the triangular 1 chlorine and below the triangular 1 chlorine. That chlorine will form the 2 pyramidal shape, so that the shape of phosphorus pentachloride is trigonal bipyramidal. Now sp3d2 hybridization, for that example is sulfur hexafluoride. Central atom is sulfur atomic number 16. Ground state electronic configuration of sulfur is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p4. Here the 3s orbital containing 2 electron, that one of the electron will go to 3d orbital. The same way in 3px orbital, it contains 2 electron, that one of the electron will go to 3d x squared minus y squared orbital. So totally in excited state, how many orbital is there means 3s 1 orbital and 3p 3 orbital and 3d 2 orbital. So totally we have 6 orbitals. So we get the 6 sp3d2 hybridized orbital, each orbital containing 1 electron linearly overlap with 3pz orbital of fluorine. Fluorine atomic number 9, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2, 2pz1. We already discussed in boron trifluoride in sp2 hybridization. Please refer that slide Now one of the 2pz orbital of fluorine atom, it is linearly overlap with the sp3d hybridized orbital. So totally how many fluorine means 6 fluorine. That 6 fluorine gives single electron to the sp3d2 hybridized orbital. It forms octahedral structure. The sp3d2 hybridized orbital means we get octahedral structure. Now we are going to see the bonding in ethylene. Ethylene formula is C2H4. In C2H4, the central atom is carbon. Carbon atomic number 6. Ground state electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. The valency of carbon is 4. In excited state, the one of the electron from 2s orbital goes to 2p orbital. Now see the ground state of carbon in green color given us. Ground state means 2s2, 2p1, 2px1, 2py1. And excited state means the one of the electron from 2s orbital goes to 2pz orbital. Now here we have to consider that how many orbital in excited state? 4 orbital in excited state. But in all the 4 orbital they never involve in the hybridization here. Then how many orbital they are going to be hybridized means 2s orbital, 2px, 2py orbital, not 2pz orbital. So the not involved in the hybridization is the 2pz orbital, that is called as unhybridized orbital. Now we get 3 hybridized orbital from s orbital, and 2p orbital is sp2. How many sp2? 3 sp2 orbitals. That 3 sp2 orbitals are lying in xy plane. Then we have one unhybridized orbital, Noma. That unhybridized orbital, it lies perpendicular to the xy plane. Now see the first structure, ma. In around the first, how many carbon is there? 2 carbon, green color. See the center, there is 2 carbon. Each carbon having how many green color lobe? That is sp2, means 3 sp2 hybridized orbital each carbon. Then the molecular axis, one of the sp2 hybridized is molecular axis of 2 carbon. They combined with linearly and they form the sigma bond. The same way, then sp2, other 2 sp2 hybridized orbital of each carbon, they linearly overlap with the 1s orbital of hydrogen. See the rose color or 1s orbital of hydrogen, ma. They also form the sigma bond. Now in central atom C carbon, we have one unhybridized orbital. That one hybridized orbital, it is indicated in the second diagram. See that it is perpendicular to the molecular axis. So they are sideway overlap. They are going to be sideway overlaps. So they form the pi bond. The unhybridized 2pz orbital of carbon atom, they overlap sideways. They are not in the molecular axis. So they are those who are in molecular axis, they form the sigma bond. Here the pi bond formation, the 2pz orbital not lie in the molecular axis. Now see the last diagram. In that one, how many sigma bond in ethylene means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 sigma bond. And how many pi bond means 1d1 pi bond. That pi bond, it is formed by lateral overlap or sideway overlap of 2pz orbital. They are not involved in the hybridization. Please keep it in mind. Acetylene C2H2, the central atom is carbon. Carbon atomic number 6, ground state electronic configuration 1s, 2s, 2p2. And excited state electronic configuration means the 2s orbital, one electron goes to 2p orbital. Now see the excited state, how many orbitals are there? 4 orbitals, that is 2s orbital, 3 2p orbital. But all the orbitals not involved in hybridization. Here which are going to be hybridized means 2s orbital, 1 orbital, and 2p x orbital. These 2 orbitals, they are going to be a hybridized state. So we get 2 sp orbital. But there is 2 more orbital, they are not involved in hybridization. They are 2py orbital and 2pz orbital. They are perpendicular to the molecular axis. But the sp hybridized orbital, they are lying along the molecular axis. In acetylene, how many carbon is there? 2 carbon. each carbon having sp hybridized. That sp hybridized, one sp hybridized is molecular axis. That molecular axis, they linearly overlap and form the sigma bond, that is C bond C, that they will formed by molecular axis lying sp hybridized orbital linearly overlap each other. And another sp hybridized orbital, it is linearly overlap with the 1s orbital of hydrogen. You see the rose color, left hand side 1s orbital of hydrogen, and right hand side 1s orbital of hydrogen, so that they form the linear structure. How many sigma bond means CC bond 1 sigma bond and CH bond 1 sigma bond, so totally 3 sigma bond there. Now how many unhybridized orbital in central atom carbon means there is 2 unhybridized orbital, they are 2py and 2pz. Please refer the previous slide ma. Which are all the unhybridized orbital means 2py and 2pz. They are not lie in the molecular axis, they are perpendicular to the molecular axis, so they are undergo a side wave overlap and they form 2 pi bond. So in acetylene, how many sigma bond are there means 3 sigma bond, and how many pi bond means there are 2 pi bond. It is a book back question. In methane, ammonia and water, the central atom has the hybridization sp3 hybridization, but the bond angle is different. This question we have referred the VS-EPR theory. In methane, around the carbon there is 4 bonded pair with hydrogen, and one of the bonded pair has the angle 109.5, so that it has the tetrahedral structure. Then ammonia, around the nitrogen there is 3 bonded pair with hydrogen and 1 lone pair. There is a repulsion between lone pair and bonded pair. Because of this repulsion, the angle between the bond is 107 degree. Then they have the structure pyramidal structure. In water, the central atom oxygen, around the oxygen it has 2 bonded pair with hydrogen and 2 lone pair it is possessed by oxygen. So in lone pair and bonded pair, the repulsion is greater, so the angle from 107 degree to 104.5 degree is reduced. And then that water, they acquire the structure bend shape. The next question is 47 question. In that question, they referred as x-axis is a molecular axis. Then which combination will form the sigma bond, they asked. So first combination, 1s orbital and 2py orbital. Here they consider x-axis only the molecular axis. So the y orbital never form the sigma bond with the s orbital. And the second option, both the combination 2px, both the one lying in the molecular axis, so they form the sigma bond. The next one, third option, 2px and 2pz. One axis is molecular axis, but another 2pz is not a molecular axis, so they never form the sigma bond. Then fourth combination, 1s orbital and 2pz orbital. It is also the 2pz orbital is not a molecular axis. According their consideration, 2pz orbital is not a molecular axis, so these combination also not form the sigma bond. This book back question 43. Which bond is a stronger, sigma or pi? The pi bond is a weaker covalent bond when compared to the sigma bond, because the pi bond, it is formed by side wave overlap of the p orbital, and also it has smaller overlap. But when it put with the sigma bond, the pi bond is put with the sigma bond means it creates a much stronger hold between the atom. Thus double bond and triple bonds are stronger than the single bond. Then 50th question, octahedral means what is the hybridization means sp3d2. Tetrahedral means sp3 hybridization. In square planar, the hybridization is dsp2. It is not discussed in our book, but we have to know about that hybridization. For square planar means what the hybridization? dsp2. Sixth, evaluate. We have to arrange the molecule based on their bond angle. In methane 109.5 degree, water 104.5 degree, ammonia 107 degree. So first methane, afterward ammonia, afterward water. In acetylene, the bond angle is 180 degree, boron trifluoride is 120 degree, carbon tetrachloride 109.5 degree. So which one is greater means acetylene, afterward boron trifluoride, afterward carbon tetrachloride. Now in bond angle, phosphonium ion, pH 4 plus means phosphonium ion. It has the higher bond angle than the pH 3, that is phosphine. In pH 4, see the structure around the phosphorus. We have 4 bonded pair. The bond angle between the one of the bonded pair is 109.5 degree. So according to the VSEPR theory, it has the structure tetrahedral structure. And in phosphine, around the phosphorus, we have 3 bonded pair with the hydrogen, 1 lone pair. So based on the VSEPR theory, the bonded pair are and lone pair means the lone pair has more repulsion than the bonded pair. The bond angle between that means 93.6 degrees. So the bond angle of which one is greater? pH 4 plus is greater when compared to the phosphine. In this evaluate, they asked the structure of sulfur tetrafluoride and structure of carbon tetrafluoride. In this slide, we are going to see the structure of sulfur tetrafluoride. The sulfur tetrafluoride undergo the hybridization sp3d2. Sulfur atomic number is 16. So ground state electronic configuration is 1s2s2p6, 3s3p4. See the ground state. 3s orbital has 2 electron and 3p orbital, the 3px 2 electron, 3py 1 electron, 3pz 1 electron. Then after hybridization, after excited, you see that the 3s orbital electron, one of the electron goes to 3d orbital, and the same way in 3px there is 2 electron in ground state, but in excited state one of the electron goes to 3d x squared minus y squared. Now what hybridization is take place here means sp3d, that is s orbital 1 orbital and 3p orbital and only 1 d orbital, they are going to be hybridized, and it produce 5 sp3d orbitals. But that 4 sp3d orbitals, one electron is shared by fluorine atom. The fluorine atom atomic number is 9, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2 and 2pz1. The 2pz1 one electron is given by fluorine to one of the sp3d orbitals, and totally 4 fluorine atom they will give their last electron to sp3d hybridized orbital, and one of the sp3d hybridized orbital and one unhybridized orbital is bending there. They will form the lone pair of sulfur atom. Now see that now that sulfur tetrafluoride will form the what type of structure? Seesaw structure. That seesaw structure I indicated there around the sulfur there are 4 fluorine atom and one lone pair atom, one lone pair. That lone pair is given, the lone pair is we obtained from one hybridized orbital, that is sp3d orbital, and one unhybridized 3D x squared minus y squared orbital. The next to evaluate, that is carbon tetrachloride. It has the hybridization, sp3 hybridization, carbon atomic number 6. The central atom is carbon here. Carbon atomic number 6. Ground state electronic configuration 1s2 2s2 2p2. Excited electronic configuration, one of the s orbital electron will go to 2pz orbital. Now in excited state, how many orbitals are there? 4 orbital, that is 1 s orbital, 3 p orbital. They will undergo sp3 hybridization and will form the 4 sp3 hybridized orbital, each one containing single electron. That single electron combined with the chlorine electron of 3pz orbital linearly overlap and form the tetrahedral structure.